What are you doing up at 3 a.m.? You gotta be going to bed on time so you can get that sleep cycle better, dude. Do you know how important it is to match your circadian rhythm with the sun? Well, I can be sure that if you are going to be up that late, you're gonna see some wild stuff. You have everything from drunk people stumbling home from the club, demons going through your internet history, and probably Mike Tyson training for the greatest old man fight of all time. Hello, Most Amazing Top 10 family. I'm your host, Che Dorena, and welcome back to Most Amazing Top 10. I've looked into the best late night creepy stories to bring you today's list of top 10 scary 3 a.m. encounters. If any of you at home would like to get more Most Amazing Top 10 content, then you should check out our Facebook and Instagram pages, and make sure you stick around until the end of this video because I'm going to be doing some more pet shoutouts, which you guys love so much. Remember, if you want me to shout out your pet, you can hit me up on Instagram, and without taking any longer, let's get into this list. Coming in at number 10, we have the Old Hag. This story was pulled from liveabout.com's paranormal section. Now, a list of scary encounters would not be complete without a few sleep paralysis stories. This story talks about a horrible looking creature that would come visit a person, and they called this thing the Old Hag. When the writer was only 16 years old, she started to get visits from this monster. She described it as an old woman that looked very much like a witch. Oh, and she wouldn't just pop into a room and stare at her from the corner. No. She would kneel on her chest and then look into her eyes. And just thinking about that makes it hard for me to breathe. Oh, and it would get worse than that too. If the writer was sleeping on her stomach, the old hag would come in, sit on her back, run her hands underneath her face, reach into her mouth, and then pull her head back. Yeah, that's not the kind of massage I'm looking for. Coming in at number 9, we have a surprise visitor. When you're sound asleep in bed, there's only a few things that can wake you up that won't upset you. One of those things is your pet jumping into bed with you. Now, this is what a lady from Tennessee thought was happening. She thought it was her little kitty joining her for a snooze. Well, it turns out it was something else.
Christine Humphries is in surprisingly good spirits after sleeping with a slithering snake. This was the 3-foot intruder.
I mean, that is one way to make you never want to go to bed again. That would make me so angry. I love my bed, and if some gross creature came in there and ruined it for me, I would be furious. But this lady got spooked by the 3-foot intruder, jumped out of bed, and then immediately called the police, who put her in touch with animal control, and the snake was quickly removed, and I think she spent the night sleeping on the couch. Coming in at number 8, we have exploding head syndrome. Wait. What? I didn't know that was something I could just get. I thought I would have to have my head explode from some sort of weapon or a psychic attack. But apparently this can just happen to you while you're asleep. Now, even though the syndrome has the most frightening name of all time, it's not as deadly as it seems. It won't make your head burst open and paint your walls with your brain matter. What happens with EHS is when you're falling asleep or when you're waking up or in the middle of your sleep, you will hear a massive explosion that's just coming from your thoughts. Now, the good thing is when you hear this explosion, it doesn't come along with the psychosomatic feeling of pain, but people who suffer from this typically get a massive wave of anxiety that will flow over their body, which sometimes changes into panic attacks. So imagine being woken up at 3 a.m. by an explosion that only took place in your mind, and then you have a panic attack, and then you can't get back to sleep. Yeah, no thank you. At number 7, we have waking up to groping. Again, no thank you. I don't care if we've been married for 30 years. You better not be groping me when I'm asleep at 3 a.m. You don't get this great look from disturbing your sleep cycle all the time. Well, sometimes it can actually not be the person's fault. There are a ton of stories online from people who suffer from sexanomia. This is a very rare disorder where when someone is asleep, instead of sleepwalking, they will become very sexual, groping and grabbing the person they're sleeping next to. And the people who have this disorder will wake up and not remember doing any of this. People who actually struggle with this disorder will sleep with their hands and feet bound. Coming at number 6, we have fire. I don't know if anyone is going to be able to sleep soundly after watching this video because it's probably going to create insomnia inside your body. So an encounter doesn't have to be a person or an animal or some creepy demon hiding in your corner waiting to suck your soul out. What about just a standard force of nature? Every now and again, we think that we are safe from the real world, that the laws of man will protect us from everything that is big and bad. But then the laws of nature will come in and remind you what the real rules are.
I got a fire in my bed.
You got a fire in your bed?
And I can't get it out.
Okay, I want you all to get out of the house, okay?
Yeah, waking up to a fire in your bed is a great reminder that life can come at you fast. And I bet that was heartbreaking. Even if you put out the fire and save your home, your mattress would for sure be done for. Now, the cause of the fire wasn't clear in the news report where I snagged this clip, but after a little bit of digging, I think I found out that it was either an electrical thing or it could have been someone falling asleep with a cigarette in their mouth. Coming in at number 5, we have footsteps. Of course, we got to cover another sleep paralysis story. I am so happy that I am a sound sleeper and I don't have to worry about anything like this. When I lay down to sleep, I'm out like a light and I'm not waking up unless it's time to get up or you hear that standard iPhone alarm. I think more people have a wake-up response to that noise than any other noise. But this story was pulled from Lucid Dream Society. The writer of this story said that when they were in sleep paralysis, they would be stuck on their bed, unable to move, just looking at the open doorway to the room. They would hear footsteps coming from down the hall towards them, and then they would see a dark figure walk into the room, walk up to the edge of their bed, and then just stare at them. God, would you just kill me or something? I don't want to just float in this constant state of fear. Coming in at number 4, we have ghosts. A classic one. We have to cover a ghost story, of course. Paranormal investigator Kashif Khan was eager to find some ghosts and went to the perfect place to make sure that he found some. Now, none of this video is in English except for a couple words here and there, so I couldn't really tell what kind of building they were investigating, but it seems like a rundown warehouse of sorts. But it's very clear that the building is abandoned. Now, even though I couldn't understand what he was saying, I could easily tell what was going on in the video. I mean, it's a ghost hunting video. It can't really get that complicated, but here's a clip. The whole video is 18 minutes long, so that is just one strange encounter that Kashif finds. I'm not sure what that was, but it sounded like some sort of deep guttural growl, but when he turns the camera, there's nothing there. Coming in at number 3, we have The Mystery Man. The YouTube channel The Proper People's Vlog wanted to push the boundaries of investigating an abandoned building by going into a forgotten insane asylum in the middle of the night. The whole thing is super creepy, but nothing really out of the ordinary happens until they come across this.
Oh shit. What? There's somebody there.
No way.
Yes, I see their light. They're out there.
It's hard to see at the beginning of the clip, but you can see a light shining back at them. Now, this could have been their own lights reflecting off of something, but it seems that the whole crew was convinced that they had just stumbled across someone. They all get very spooked, and then they start working their way out of this creepy building and back to their vehicles so they can hightail it out of there. Coming in at number 2, we have The Voice. This story was written on Reddit by Sherpa Derpa Derp. That's their real handle, I didn't just make that up. They said that when they were a kid, sometimes in the middle of the night, they would have a nightmare about hearing a voice. The voice would always be counting up from the number 1. As the numbers climbed, the voice would get louder, more intense, and more frightening. They would jolt awake from this. Now, eventually, this faded. Lots of kids have weird recurring nightmares, and even though this one felt real at times, it was eventually forgotten, until he brought it up with his younger sister, who said that she had the exact same dream when she was younger. Yeah, a creepy voice that both you and your sister have heard. That's enough to make you want to poop your pants. And coming in at the number 1 spot, we have a hand on your mouth. It's one thing if a sleep paralysis demon is putting its hand on your face. At the end of the day, you know that it can't hurt you. But what about a person who broke into your home? A Texas woman woke up when a man walked into her house, put his hand over her mouth, and then tried to strangle her to death. She had security cameras installed in her home, so here's some of the footage of the man trying to pull her out of the house.
I start screaming for help, so he takes off running.
Luckily, when she started screaming, it startled the man and he ran off, but I couldn't think of anything scarier than waking up to a stranger trying to kill you. On the bright side, her security cameras got a good look at his face, so police will most likely be able to track down this psychopath. Alright everyone, that is all we have for you for today's list, and as promised, I'm going to be doing some more pet shoutouts. Remember, if you want me to shout out your pet, you can hit me up on Instagram. I pick new pets every day, so if you don't get picked one day, you can message back another day. I usually pick a message last, so you can just message me again and again and again if you want. If it takes me a little while to get back to you, I'm very sorry. I have a lot of these to do, and without taking any longer, let's shout out some pets. First up, we have this hilarious close-up of Lucy. Look at how cute this little boy is. Then we have Riley, who looks like the happiest boy in the whole world. How big is that dude's smile? Oh my god. Then we have Wind, who is in the fanciest picture that I have ever had on Most Amazing Top 10. This is super fancy. Then we have Angel the Chinchilla, who is looking super chonky. I love how much of a round boy this guy is. And then to close it out, we have Nala, who is the cutest little pupper. Alright everyone, that is all we have for you for today's list. As always, I would love it if you could like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell. Until next time, I've been your host, Shade Arena, and try to get some sleep.